able to be implemented because we're relying on donor support for the RIA, on the multi-corridor approach, is to make sure that projects are designed,
have the curricula to really teach the principles. Those are really transferable.
Colleagues for the questions. This is really important. I think the idea,
I, more than anyone else, understands the power of regulation and the need for institutional capacity to be built to help galvanize momentum for what is today an important transition, sustainable transition. So I'm very excited to join you and also to welcome the African School of Regulation to its new home in Africa where it belongs, and to Accra, beautiful Accra, where you'll find that there's significant work being done in different areas, whether it is in the continental free trade area, whether it is in energy transitioning in Africa, or in the ease of doing business. You'll find that Accra is indeed the place to be. As a Deputy Minister of Energy, I am doubly pleased as well that the organization will be headquartered in Accra. It's vital that Africa charts its own course to find African solutions so that the challenges we face will have solutions that are tailor-made for these challenges. The African School of Regulation is a welcome initiative that will help to develop the local expertise to guide policy and regulation in a way that is reflective of African priorities and needs. Ghana is an established energy producing country. We have a solid baseline of expertise in the oil and gas sector. Of course, we continue to use local policies, local content policies to try and increase and build more capacity for our people. And it's a welcome, news that you're bringing this regulation institution, the school, to Accra. Of course, we will need a lot of innovation in the space of regulation to be able to create the conditions that will allow us to attract capital and investment to make what we're trying to achieve a reality. One thing that has been missing in all the conversation, or that has not been as present in the conversation, has been capital, the question of capital. Capital has not exactly made its way into the conversation, and the sooner that we demonstrated the ability and the capacity to make prudent use of capital, and the earlier that we're able to demonstrate that risk is no longer such a big factor in Africa, the better for us to be able to attract funding into the conversations that we're having.
We are very pleased today to have had the opportunity with our partners, the European University Institute, the UNECA, Economic Commission for Africa, and the Rockefeller Foundation to announce and launch today the African School of Regulation. So the African School of Regulation is coming from a partnership from different stakeholders in the energy sector, several organizations, African institutions, but also financial and technical partners. Because one of the things that we realize, and very important to the conversation in the Africa Climate Summit, is actually how to unlock capital. So regulation is a key ingredient in unlocking investment and capital, because regulation is a first step and should serve policy in policy implementation. And regulation also protects capital as well, and gives more sound regulation, gives more confidence to investors actually to bring their resources and invest in the sector. So basically the goal is to build capacity in Africa in terms of understanding the basics of regulation, mastering the principles of regulation, to actually create a sound policy and regulatory space in Africa that would attract and unlock increased investment that we need to actually power Africa and support inclusive economic development. ACBF has trained over 50,000 people in public service. Today, many of these people are holding high offices in different ministries, particularly ministries of finance, central banks, etc. But this was done in partnership with Africa-based universities. Similar will be the African School of Regulation. It's not a brick and mortar institution. Let's not look for a specific campus. Yes, there will be a hub hosted in our program office in Accra, but the institution, the African School of Regulation, will live in the already existing infrastructure. So it will mobilize and catalyze existing African expertise, but expertise also from elsewhere, best practice, to really develop the curricula, work with existing universities, to deliver that curricula. And that's the way, the fastest way for us to go to scale, to provide this knowledge to more people, but also to go across the continent. Because we will work with universities in all parts of Africa, north, west, center, east, and south, and also other existing excellence training institutions.
And we are really excited about a new venture called the African School of Regulation, which we're supporting and incubating to grow into the continent's leading body to provide technical assistance and training on energy sector regulation. The reason this is so important for us is, as we think about the next 20 or 30 years, Africa has to manage the twin challenge of dramatically increasing the amount of energy it's consuming, so in order to drive its growth and development, while at the same time responding to the climate crisis and ensuring that that growth happens on a clean energy and decarbonization pathway. That takes new types of tools, new types of policies, and very importantly, new types of regulation. So we're happy to be investing in the development of the continent's first Pan-African School of Regulation that we hope will play a long-term role in helping Africa to end energy poverty and to drive inclusive energy transitions. Important that the school is built on a basis of strong foundations with African governments for a number of reasons. At the end of the day, the energy sector is a public and private sector domain. It needs strong policy and regulation that only government can provide, and that's why the worth of the African School of Regulation will be significantly increased if it has strong partnerships with governments that are seeking to regulate their energy sector in a low carbon future.
Today is a happy day because we have the official launch of the ASR, the African School of Regulation. Although we have been more or less functioning for the last year, this is an initiative of a multitude of organizations, including the Global Commission to End Energy Poverty, founded by the Rockefeller Foundation, the European Commission with the African Union, looking for partnerships in different aspects in energy, and concentrating in capacity building is something that is really important in both continents. And so these organizations decided to create a group of 9 organizations that would be managing this effort, and they place the logistics in the European University, Florence School of Regulation, and appointed me as interim director. Of course, this is an organization that is for Africa, in Africa, and run by Africans. I am from Spain, and I am the interim director. So we are launching, we have started 1 month ago, the search for a director that will replace me as soon as possible. And we have received already a number of applications, some of them very interesting. So I expect that by the beginning of 2024, we will have a new director from Africa in the African School of Regulation. Regulation is absolutely critical to achieve a reliable and affordable and sustainable supply of electricity. Electricity enables lots of activities. We cannot live without it, but 600 million people live without it in Africa. So the School of Regulation is not only for access, it's to support the energy development in Africa, for industrialization, for standard of living, for transportation, for cooking, for many things. And we know by experience that sound regulation makes possible to have a strong electricity power sector, and with all the good things that come associated to that. So we are ready for that mission, and I am ready to pass the torch of the direction of the ASR to a new director soon.